So let's see what happens here. G'day everyone. Just doing a test actually. I'm trying to use Ecamm just to see what happens here and how the audio is and everything as a live test. So I'm going to have to wait for a few people to pop in on the chat. But if you can, well, I can't. I'm talking to no one at the moment. There's no one here at all because this is a totally unscheduled chat. Oh, my watch is going off. Oh, it's just saying now live. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just to get some people in because I want to see how the comments show up. And I also want to see how the audio is. So as you pop in the chat, could you say hello just so I can see if this is all working? Oh, there we go. We've got someone popping in. Jarius. G'day, buddy. How you going? Just let me know, too, while you're here, is the audio in sync? Let me know if that is, if everything's okay. I'm just going to clap. So let me know if that's all okay, because I'm just curious to see if the audio is in sync. Comments show up. Yeah, they should show up. Pers here, also Roger as well. Yeah, let me know, guys, how the audio is. Is it fine? And the comments should be showing up for you guys as well. What's that? What's Joe saying? A74, fish, that's all. Please, that's all. You say, oh, the A75, that's what you're after. A75. All good, David. So the audio is pretty good, is it? Well, that's cool. G'day, Jason. How you going? I'm just checking Ecamm. Normally, Jason, I've been following Jason too. It's another good Aussie that we have here in Australia, another Aussie YouTuber. So if you haven't subscribed to him, give him a like. I'm trying, Jason, to use Ecamm for a change. Normally, when I'm streaming, I actually don't use any software at all. I go directly out of my web presenters and the hyperdeck. So I'm trying something just different to see how it works. So, yeah, I thought I'd give it a go and just check it out. Seeing I pay for Ecamm, I thought I might as well give it a go. Roger says the audio is in sync. Bike Vision Scotland. G'day, buddy. How are you, mate? Hi, looking. Sounds okay. Now, what's that? I suppose I've got to go to put focus on. Let's see now if that happens. Looking sounds okay. Jason's in the house. Yep, Jason has some good videos. I was chatting to Jason today. You should message me, Jason, and tell me who that was that you were talking about in your video. I'd love to know because it might be someone I've dealt with. So I'm very curious to know. You can message me or something. Then it can be personal. Yeah, I've been using SteamYard, I guess. Yeah, SteamYard. I did try SteamYard for a while. I didn't mind it, actually. Ecamm tends to have more in it. I'm lucky, though, because I've been grandfathered in, which means I pay $50 a year to get all of the features. And I think it's pretty expensive if you pay for it normally. Whereas because I was in it right from the beginning, they grandfathered me at the low rate. So I get a really cheap rate to do this. So that's the reason why I don't use SteamYard anymore. Now, by the way, what resolution is this running at? I'm just curious. Let me check. It should be 4K. That's what I asked it to be, but I don't know whether it is. Let me go back to YouTube. I'm going to check. Where are we? Let me go to library. And let me go here. I'm checking this on another computer, just because then it doesn't tie this one down. YouTube Studio. Content. Lives. Because I'm not sure whether this comes up in 4K or whether it's 1080p. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's 1440. So that's interesting. So if I go live from Ecamm, it only comes in at 1440. So I have to do it in YouTube, schedule a stream in 4K, and then it works in 4K. So that's weird. So even though in Ecamm I'm actually saying I want it to come out 4K, it's not, which is weird. because it's got 4K selected, but it's not 4K. It's 1440 or something. Yeah, 1440/60, Roger. You're right. It should be 4K, so that's something to do with Ecamm, and I don't know why it does that. I tried a test a minute ago, and I actually scheduled the test in YouTube, and I set the streaming key at 4K60, and it came through at 4K60. So this is just a little bit higher. I'm not sure why Ecamm does that. I'll have to ask about that. So that's weird. I've even got a LUT on this, which is interesting. If I turn this LUT up, you watch. You can go really... Look at that. Ooh. Sexy. Oh, I love it. So that's having LUTs in it as well. So it's quite good, Ecamm. It's pretty powerful. I can also go, I notice from here, I can go black and white. De-interlaced. It's got mirror there. You can do green screens from this and everything. So it's pretty powerful by the look of it. I can even play sounds, I think. Let me have a look. You ready for this? Sony A7R5. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't know why, Bikey. Why is that stuck at 1440p60? I've got no idea. No idea at all. It's weird. Maybe they dropped the res so it doesn't look as good and give us smaller YouTubers a chance to look half as decent. You're not a smaller YouTuber. You've got more subscribers than me, Jason. So, yeah, who knows? But like I said, the interesting thing is it's Ecamm is saying if you look up the top, it actually says 4K. So I'm meant to be going out at 4K, but it just doesn't do it. I have to stream it, set it up as a stream through YouTube, and then sort of access that through Ecamm, and it allows it to be 4K, which is weird. Very weird. Maui says, hello from Maui. Well, love Maui. I've been to Hawaii years ago. Loved it. We're probably going to go to the UK, maybe the end of this year or maybe early next year. We want to go out for a number of weeks, so I'm going to be organising a shoot with you all when I get there. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, let me just switch over to this. Let me just check this and see if this plays on the video as well, because this is all testing.
Young, and we didn't want to be exposed. Even though it was cold, we were never wearing proper clothes. Always trying to be cool, trying to be those bad guys, smoking cigarettes behind the school. Always trying to be cool, trying to be those bad guys, you know. I still think about what we had when we were younger. We were never running out of time. As long as we had each other, everything was black and white. Driving in a car, never knowing how far we go. When we were younger, when we were younger, I remember a girl, I would sneak into her parents' house.
Well, that looked all right. So that worked okay. Just checking this all out. Also, Mark's here. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm just doing some testing. I just can't work out why I can't get 4K through setting it up through Ecamm. It's a bit weird. It's come through as 1440. I can get 4K, but I have to set it up through YouTube first. So it probably means that I'm just going to do it that way whenever I sort of go live. So I'll check that out. G'day, Barry. How are you, mate? Good to see you in here as well. Totally different time for me. Certainly a different time for me. Oh, by the way, join my photography videography group if you haven't done it, guys, because I've just gone over 9,000 members now in that group. It's fantastic. It's just such a great group, and I'm even going to start streaming live there too. But that really has grown quite dramatically lately. So join me there if you haven't. It's just photography and then the ampersand. I can probably show you. Let me just see if can I go to web page. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me go browser. Let me go Brave browser and let me go here. And then let me go back to the group. So this is the group itself. Is it going to, oh, there we go. So you've got it's like that. It's written as Photography and Videography School. Like I said, we've got over 9,000 members now. And it's great because I put all my videos in, but I like everyone sharing their videos in there. Jason, you might want to join it too because you're welcome to share your YouTube videos in there. I love that sort of stuff. The only thing people can't do is go live to it. That's just for me. But anything else, you can promote your Instagram. You can share your YouTube feed. And everything. So, you may get some more views and things like that. So it's great. You can see that there's people sharing stuff about everything. These are all YouTube videos. Gilbert shared one here about smartphone vlogging. He also shared an image there of this beautiful girl that he just took in spring, autumn, I think, over there. But there's some really good work over there. And it's sort of called Photography and Videography School because we also like people to help other people out as well. So, this is another one where Stuart's shared his YouTube page as well. So, yeah, so please join us in there. It's a great site. So that's Photography and Videography School. It'd be good if you could join me there as well. But like I said, 9,000 people now, so it's doing really well. If you have any questions, just fire away too, because I'm going to stay for a couple more minutes. I'm going to go in for the news by the time the news is starting, but I've certainly got 10 minutes that if you wanted to fire away and just ask anything. I'm probably going to try streaming this way for a little bit just to see how it goes. I'm going to take these off actually. Just to see how it goes over a period of time, but I'm going to try 4K in the next test that I do. I will be back on Saturday morning too to do the normal Sony rumors show. I'll try and do that one in 4K as well. But looks like it's okay. I think the picture quality is not quite as good as when I'm going through the web presenter and my Hyperdeck directly, though. I can sort of see that when I look at it, that the picture quality is not quite as good, but it's all right. But also I've been going out at 4K with the other streams. So, yeah. So is there any other questions or anything like that? Now, what's his favourites do? So if I mark a favourite, I see. So if I put that in as a favourite, click there. Oh, okay, so I could come back to that later on. All right, that makes sense. So that's in the questions. What else have we got? Roger, do you think the base 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro can handle several layers? Yes, definitely. I think that would be great, Roger. I've got the, on the desk here, I use the 14-inch, but mine's a fully spec'd M1 Max. It was maximum everything apart from the hard drive. I got a 2 terabyte hard drive in it, and it is incredible. Like I said, I can stream 4K, and I don't have to worry about anything, and it's just so good for editing video and everything else. But yes, the base one will be able to handle that for sure, because it is quite powerful. Even the base one is quite powerful. But look, you wouldn't want to be having 10 layers, but I think if you were having 2 or 3 of that, I think you'd be fine. The other thing too that you can do, which I've found if you want to, and I've found it does help, is you can actually convert the footage to ProRes, and that really helps too. So because it's a much easier codec to handle. But yeah, I'm sure the 14-inch M1 Pro will be great. And what's that with? Is that how much memory's on that? I can't remember what the base has gone. I've got 64 on my laptop, but I don't know what the base memory is on that. But it's still going to be a great machine. I used to edit on my M1 Mac. I've still got that. The normal smaller Mac, what they call the I've gone blank. Mac Mini. Yeah, I've still got the Mac Mini. That's right next to me, actually. It's here. So I run 2 computer systems through this. So the Mac Mini could easily handle those files if I converted to ProRes. Sometimes the things that slow it down are things like text and stuff like that. Like text layers, for some reason, take a lot of memory. Yeah, I am, Jason. I am still using Final Cut. So it does. But I found that the M1 Mac, the Mac Mini, could handle the A7S3 fine. As long as, you didn't go crazy with layers and stuff like that, it was fine. But the MacBook Pro that I've got, it's like butter. It's incredible. Jason said, are you using Final Cut? Yep, always use Final Cut, Jason. I love it. I tried Premiere for a while. The issue is with Premiere, I found it just didn't work that well with the M1 Max. So I sort of stopped using it. So I didn't pay for that anymore. And I've now just got the photography package, which includes Photoshop and Lightroom. So I do that. Whereas, I love Final Cut, and I've bought so many plugins for it now. So I probably wouldn't change from using Final Cut. I know the Blackmagic has some great software as well, which is free actually, but all the plugins, I'd have to re-get all the plugins and everything else that I use. So yeah, I'm sticking with Final Cut. What do you use, Jason? I think are you Final Cut? Juicy said, hi David, love you're live, high contrast and low exposure. Thanks, Juicy. Roger said, using an Intel 219 MacBook Pro now and need to make a proxy for all 10-bit 422. Yeah, you won't need to do that with the M1 MacBook, that's for sure. You won't need to do proxies. It just depends on how many. Like I said, the best solution really is to convert it to ProRes. And I do that through compressor, because I just bought compressor and I do that. I use compressor with it as well. And I convert all to ProRes, and then it's just like butter. It uses the encoders that are built in, which is amazing. I'm stuck in Premiere Pro. Are you a Mac or PC, Jason? Just curious to know. Yeah, like I said, I used Premiere Pro for a while, and I just found it was just nowhere near as good as what it was through Final Cut. So, yeah. Particularly with these new MacBooks, they sort of write, if you're in the Mac side of things, they write the software that closely to the hardware that it just runs so smooth. Your PC will completely understand, why you would use Premiere. What's the Blackmagic one? There's Blackmagic as well, which is DaVinci Resolve, isn't it? You've never tried that, Jason? I've looked at DaVinci Resolve, and it looks really complex to me, and probably because I'm not used to it. But I have looked at it, and I thought, wow, it looks amazing for what it does, and you can get it free. But like I said, Final Cut for me is just so good, and I've got so many plugins. I've spent probably thousands on plugins. I don't know how much I've spent, and I do use all of them. So tracking software and everything else. I mostly use all of the, what is it? I'm just having a look where they are up here. Come here, where are you? Yeah, I mostly use, is it going to come out? What are they called? M Tutorials, Motion VFX. So I'm using all of Motion VFX, and I've probably got, I don't know how many I've got. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I've got about 40, no, probably 50 plugins that I've bought through Motion VFX, and they're not cheap plugins. So, I have spent an awful lot of money. I think they have just started doing it for DaVinci Resolve, though. I think I saw that the other day. They've started doing them for that, but you'd have to re-buy them. Oh, no, actually, you wouldn't have to, actually. But they've only got 1 or 2 bits of software at the moment that are going through it. I learned grading on DaVinci when I was at uni. Oh, cool. Incredible grading software, yeah. I don't normally use the Final Cut grading, though, I use Color Finale. So I use that as a plugin, which I love. And I think they've just brought out one for DaVinci Resolve as well. And it's so powerful. I love that aspect of it. It's just so good. But yeah, I mean, I would like to sit down and just learn DaVinci just for the sake of learning it, because I love to learn new things. But I don't know. I'm so ingrained with Final Cut that it's hard to get out of it. I think I'll just stick with it. You know, I mean, it takes me long enough now to do it as it is. You know what it's like with doing reviews and stuff. You don't want to be slowed down learning new things. I'm constantly learning what Final Cut can do. So who knows? I mean, Roger, there is a massive difference, though, between the M1 Macs and the Mac Pros that had the Intel chips in them. A huge difference in how they can perform because they have dedicated encoders actually on the card, so they handle the A7S really well. I had issues before I got my M1 Mac Mini. I had issues with the Sony A7S. That was on the Mac Pro, the 13-inch trash can Mac Pro. I had problems with that, running the Sony A7S III footage, you know, in the high bit depths, but I don't have any problems now in either machine. It's just that you can have a lot more sort of layers when you are running like a MacBook with the like the one I've got, the fully spec ones, the new one. It's incredible for editing, actually. I'm just seeing if any more questions pop through. I don't even know if I'm going to leave this up once it's finished. I might just delete it. I'll just see. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, this really is only a test for me. So it's interesting. So it shows me the number of people watching. It also shows me the number of likes as well and the downvote that I've got. You horrible person. So yeah, that's interesting. What's up there? Mic out, camera out. Also tells me they're live. What does that do if I click on that? Ooh, I don't know what that did. There's a oh, hang on. Turn off high quality video mode. Oh. So that turns it off. And then that turns it back on. Did you notice any difference when I click that? I'm just going to click it now. Hang on. So it's now on. It's saying HD now. If I click now, it's turned off. This may just be the recording, because this records at the same time. So it probably could be that. I'm going to turn it back on, because I haven't seen any difference on the actual screen there. What's that showing too? That's the... Oh, okay, that's just showing my audio, I think. Yeah, so that's showing me my audio live, and that just shows me how long I've got live. I think I can show this as an output. Let me have a look, hang on. Live demo mode. Let me show you this. Now, I think this now should show the interface. Let me just see. I'm just waiting for it to... oh, now it's showing my large screen. Wow. Well, that's interesting. So it's shown the whole lot. Well, that's a bit of a nuisance. I'd have to go onto a smaller screen. I'd have to do that from my laptop, I think. Because now you can see what I was talking about there. There's a little box up the top up here that you can see what's going on with your live feed. There as well. Also shows number of people that are watching live and thumbs up and thumbs down as well. But yeah, that's interesting. Let me just go here. How do I get out of that now again? Options, live demo mode off. So now it's off. Mark said, I do Final Cut with my A7 IV with the M1 Mini Light Butter. Yep, they're such good computers, Mark. I agree with you. They are really good. Like I said, mine only ever struggled if I tried to do too many layers or put too much sort of effects or text things in and stuff like that. It started to slow. The main difference really is the rendering time. Like now, if I do something that is around about... I just did one today. I put a video up today, and I can't remember how long it was, but I'll just have a guess. Look, if it's about 8 minutes and it's in 4K, and I had a number of sort of little layers and things like that in it, if it's 8 minutes in 4K, it will render that probably in around about 3 minutes. It is incredible. Whereas when I had my M1 Mac Mini, it would have taken a bit longer than what the video was. So there is a massive difference in the rendering side of it. But you're right, Mark, if you are if you're just doing the video editing and you don't care about the rendering so much, the M1 Max are amazing for what they can do. 000 said, how much RAM have you got? He said he got 16 gigabytes. David, are you using Ecamm? Yes, I'm using Ecamm today. Like I said, this is the first time I've used Ecamm in a long time, because I usually stream direct without any software at all. So, you know, this is a different thing for me. But I was explaining earlier on that I got grandfathered in to Ecamm Live. So I get the professional version of this with all of the bells and whistles for $50 a year. It's a lot more expensive than that if you are if you weren't grandfathered in like I have been, because I started using Ecamm from day one that they released it. So I was one of the very lucky ones that they then said, well, we're going to grandfather you in at that rate. And then you will stay. As long as you keep paying, you'll be paying that for the rest of the time that we release Ecamm. So, like I said, I get it for $50 a year, and it's the pro version with all the extras in it. So it's fantastic. I probably should use it more because it's very simple. This is a much simpler interface than when I do it manually live, where I do everything without software, but sometimes I just like to push myself and I like to try different things, and I love to be able to bring in the chats separately using software from another computer and streaming out directly and, you know, doing all those sort of things. So I really like that aspect of it, just pushing myself, and that way you don't get bored, which is good. Roger said, by the way, nice to be able to be part of a live stream. Usually I need to catch up on the replay in Norway. Yeah, I do intend, and I want to start doing it, Roger, particularly as we're now going into winter, to do one night a week around this time-ish for all the Europeans that like to join in, because you just can't join in at the normal time, because I do Saturday morning my time, and that's okay for the Americans and here. But if you're in Europe, it's very hard to get in live. So, you know, I'd like to start doing this for you guys. Joseph said, rocking a M1 Pro MacBook 14-inch. Any thoughts? I love them. Yeah, look, it's fantastic. That is a great model. It is a really good model. There's nothing wrong at all with the base MacBook Pro, the 14-inch one. I've got the 14-inch. Mine's fully spec though. I did buy a fully spec one. Apart from the hard drive, I've got 2 gigabytes. But I've got the Max version, and it is incredible. But having said that, the M1 Pro is just the base model is still fantastic. So, yep, no problem at all, Joseph. It's a great machine. I love the 14-inch size because I was tempted to get the 16 because, but then I thought, well, look, I do take my laptop around with me, particularly when I travel and things, and I just found the 16 was too big. So I'm glad I got the 14-inch. Yeah, it suffers a little bit in performance because the cooling's not quite as good as the 16-inch. But look, the difference is minimal. I would never notice the difference. But I definitely prefer the size of it. I love the 14-inch file size. The 14-inch side. It's just so nice to stick in a backpack. If you're on a plane, you can open it up on the seat and things like that as well. Greg's here. G'day, Greg. How are you, mate? I have the 14-inch Max. I'm very happy with it. I know. How good is it, Greg? It's just so good. And like I said, so easy to travel with. I really do love it. It's probably the best computer. Well, it is. It's the best computer I've ever had. I was sort of thinking early on that, you know, I'd get a Mac Studio, but I'm not going to get a Mac Studio now. I'm going to wait for the next version that comes up. I'm just as happy plugging in the MacBook and then plugging all my monitors in and just running it that way. So, yeah, I'm gonna wait for the next versions that come out with the M2 chips in it, I think. Joseph Seb, love the portability, especially shooting in the field, importing and editing photos. That's the thing too. And like I said, you can also just dock it like what I've done. I run it in clamshell mode all the time, just on my desk, so it's closed, and I don't have to worry about it. And then I've just got it connected to my whole setup through here. But yeah, it is. It's so portable. It's so good. Greg said, I have the older 16 and too big to travel. Yeah, I had the 17, Greg, and I sold it. That was a pretty old one, though. But yeah, you're right. It's amazing the difference that makes if you're traveling. but some people love it. It's really up to yourself. I find the screen on these machines is just stunning, but I find the 14 inches is good enough for me when I'm traveling. And obviously, if I come to home, I'll then just dock it straight away, run it in clamshell mode, and then just let it run with my big monitors that I've got here. So that's the way that I tend to use it. So 14 inches is ideal for me because, you know, with travel and stuff, I prefer that smaller size. Joseph said, I use the main display because of the colour accuracy and the HDR. Yeah, the screen is beautiful. I mean, I've got a few monitors here. I used to be able to attach my camera to this. I wonder if I can still do it. Let me see if I can grab my phone on this. Video file. How do we do it? Camera. Oh, there we go, Ecamm. I think it's that one. Let me see if I've still got it. Yep. Let me see if I can connect this, and I'll show you my setup. Ecamm. Okay. I think it just used wireless, I think. Is it going to work? Hello? It's trying to connect. Let me see. Wi-Fi. Good. Come on, phone. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Oh. Let me bring this back. I'll see if I can... How do I get out of this now? Camera, Blackmagic. Why didn't that work? Perhaps I have to connect it through the thing. It's saying it should connect. I'll try it on a different thing. Let me have a look here. Camera, Ecamm. Let me relaunch it. Ecamm. Connected to your computer. See, it's saying it's connected. Camera, Ecamm. How do you do it? What's that doing? Yeah, it's not working. I'm going to have to play around with that, I think. I wonder if I have to auto. Let me go auto and just see. No, not going to work. I might have to reinstall that. I don't think it's not happy. It's not a happy Vegemite. Well, I was going to show you. Can't now. Let me just see what people are saying in here. Yeah, the color, the HDR ability of the laptops, that new screen is stunning. How do you clean your MacBook Pro screen? You're going to laugh. I haven't cleaned it yet. It's always, I should. Look, I really just use glass cleaners. You know, I've got glass cleaners that I have for these that I bought from the optometrist that are little cloths with, you know, stuff on it. And I use that to wipe it down. I just think if they're safe enough to put on your tinted glasses, I mean, these were $1,000. If they're good enough to put on your glasses, well, they'll be good enough to stick on a monitor. Microfiber cloth, yeah, it's just that liquid that's in the actual things that I use. I don't think I have any on me. No. You're going to laugh, but they look like a condom. Need a Jeopardy theme. I know, Keith. It doesn't work. I'm trying. G'day, Keith. How are you? Keith's great too, because I always check Keith's videos as well. I don't know why. I'm trying Ecamm for a change, Keith. Instead of streaming live through the web presenter and stuff, so I thought I'd use Ecamm, but it's meant to attach directly to the camera, the phone, via Wi-Fi, but it doesn't work, so I'm going to have to try another way of doing it. I don't know what's going on there. Mark says, I'm dipping more and more into Keynote. Yeah, Keynote's a cool program, which is great for many things like creating animated stuff, quick PNGs, and I just did a whole video via Keynote. Ecamm and Keynote combined is great. Yeah, Keynote is nice. For people that aren't on the Mac side of it, that's the same as using PowerPoint. There's still more to learn, that you're always learning. Greg said, at Joseph does a thing, use eyeglass cleaning fluid. Does a thing, use the eyeglass cleaning fluid, yep. Probably need to get some of those. I use them all the time. Ecamm seems stable. Yeah, it does seem stable, Greg. I agree. It's been pretty good. The only thing that's wrong, you came in later, but the only thing that's actually not good is the fact that I'm only outputting at 1440. I tried to tell it to do 4K, but it didn't. And I did a test earlier. Obviously, the thing that happens is if you try and do it directly from Ecamm, it will max out at 1400. If I set up the actual stream in YouTube as 4K, it will come through as 4K. So, yeah. So when I'm live on Saturday, I'm going to do it in 4K, but I'll set up the stream ahead in YouTube. Why is that down there? Oh, that's the program feed. Oh, okay. That's another little dialog box. So, yeah, but it does seem to be pretty good. I don't think, to be honest, Greg, the picture's not as good as going directly through the web presenter. I definitely see it's a little bit softer, but it's still good enough. You know, it's good enough where I look at it. Also, I've been playing around with putting LUTs in. Like if you look here, I'll show you. If I want to put this in, it's, what is it at the moment, about 34. I'm running a flat LUT. Like if you look through here, see how flat this is going to go now? I love this LUT, and I use this LUT a lot when I'm grading videos. I just like, not at this strength, of course, but I do like the look of this LUT. I'm just going to bring it back down again. But I like to sort of bring it in and use that as a sort of, sometimes, you know, I don't like the hard edge that videography can give you. I don't like that look, and I try and get away from that as much as I can. So I'll tend to use LUTs that will give me that more of a soft filmic type look, and I love that. I love that LUT. But like I said, at the moment it's only on about 30%. And I just thought I'd try it just to sort of see, you know, what it did in a live. And I noticed Ecamm, you could put a LUT in, and that's something I thought, well, I'll play around with it. You've also got full control too over your brightness and temperature and tint and saturation, gamma and everything. So it's really cool. Yeah, the LUT looks retro. It does, and that's what I love about that LUT. Yeah, it does. How good is streaming on the 14-inch Pro? No problem at all. Well, I can stream 4K. It's perfect. 4K 50, 60, no problem at all, Joseph. I don't know if you'll be able to do it with the Pro though. The Max, yes, which is what I've used. I haven't done it with the 14-inch Pro though, so I don't know. But it definitely works with the Max. I think you probably will be able to do it with the Pro too. Keith said, do you like the Manfrotto friction arm with the big lever handle rather than the knob ones? Yeah, I put the camera on this. You can't see it because I haven't got it installed at the moment. There's a camera that comes on this, and I can shoot my the stuff that comes down, Keith. So that gives me the second view. I just haven't got it connected at the moment. But yeah, I like this. I've had this for years though. Whether I'd get this one now or the one you're sort of talking about with the knob ones, I probably would get the knob one. I don't know. But I like this though, and it's rock solid. It's really good. Monitor recommendations. Well, I'm just using the Samsung at the moment. I've got a Samsung in front of me, which is the 32-inch wide, I think. It's the widescreen one, which is like two monitors put together. Or is it a 40? No, it's a 48 actually. I think it's the Samsung 48, the 4K version, which I love. I love the wide aspect of these screens because I can show you, because if I go off here, where were we? If I go to live demo mode, you'll see the screen and how wide it is. So if you're looking here now at it, you can sort of see that I can fit so many screens. It's like putting two 27s together on one monitor. And I love that aspect about this. Particularly, I love this monitor when I'm using Final Cut because I can have the timeline right across and I fill the whole screen with Final Cut. And it's amazing to not have to, basically keep scrolling to get where you want to go to. So I love this really wide screen. Now, apart from that, though, I've got 3 other monitors here. I've got 3 4K monitors here as well. There's a Lenovo, there's an LG, and also a HP one. But I use those connected to my streaming devices, so in the ATM. And then I've got another LG 4K monitor here on my other side, which is connected to the Mac Mini, so that I can use that too. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 monitors surrounding me actually in an arch. Let me just get off this. But you can see that the beauty of having these wide monitors, it really is an advantage if you like to use something like Final Cut, and I do. I love it. But some people don't like them. I used to have 2 27 inches side by side, and now I don't have to do that. So that's what I'm doing there. Let me just turn off this live demo mode. Keith said, I have stripped out 2 of the knob. Oh, really? Yeah, well, see, these ones I use all the time, Keith, and they are rock solid, these ones. So perhaps this is the way to go then. They're really good, really good. I've got a couple of them that I use all the time. Greg said, at Joseph Does a Thing, the weak link is usually the internet, not the computer. Yeah, true, that is. Yep. Back after so many times here. Sheesh, that's wide. Yeah, it is really wide, Joseph. It's 48 inches, I think it is, in the width. But I love it. I really love it. David, are you using a Mac Studio? No, I've got the 14-inch MacBook Pro, which is the Max version. The one that is the fully spec'd one. It's 64 gig of RAM. The only thing I didn't max out was the hard drive. It's got the 2 terabyte hard drive in there. Apart from that, it was the full, maxed out version. So now I was thinking about it, looking at it early on. I thought, wow, but I'm not going to get that computer because I don't think it's a big enough step up from what I've got, to be completely honest. Yes, it saves a little bit of time with editing, but the difference of saving 3 minutes for me is just not worth it at this stage. So I'm probably, because I've only just bought the 14-inch MacBook Pro, I'm probably going to wait for the next version that comes out, the A2 versions of that Mac Studio, and then I will get that version, I think. Yeah, I'll probably go back to a desktop and have the MacBook Pro just as my travel laptop. But yeah, not at this stage, but I may get it later on. I use a pair of EZO 29-inch, or ISO, aren't they? 29-inch monitors. They're lovely. They're very, very good for calibration. They're terrific. 2 computers and Apples, new universal control, and share keyboard and mouse. I know, how good does that work? I'd love to be able to use it, Greg, but the problem is, because I stream and I have so many monitors hooked up, the universal control doesn't work very well. You can, if I'm only using my computer standalone and I had 2 side by side, they're fantastic. But because I've got an ATM Mini Pro connected to this and there's multiple monitors in that, it gets confused about where it goes. And you can't even drag the monitors around enough to get by. But yeah, if you are using 2 computers, fantastic. You only need 1 mouse, 1 keyboard. It's brilliant. Love your channel. Oh, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Need to make a short film for school. Any lens recommendations? Well, it depends what you have. Look, I love the 24mm. But I know Jason, who was in here before, I think he said he loves the 35. I can't remember. I did see him talking about that the other day. I love the 24. If it was me shooting a video, the lenses I would use mostly for video now are the 24. I love the 55mm. That's on Sony. You could use a 50mm if you're on another camera system. And then if you wanted to go up a bit higher than that, the 85 is also quite nice as well. But I like those. You can even use, if you wanted to, you could use zoom lenses like the 20. I've used the Tamron quite a bit, the 28-75. I find that's a pretty good lens as well for video. But yeah, I probably would stick, if it was me, with the 24 and the 50mm and the 85 Batis. What's that one? I got the Ultra chip because of the R5 video footage. Yeah, I can understand, because the R5 is incredibly hard to edit. It's one of the most challenging codecs that are out there. So yeah, so you'll certainly get a big benefit from it. Yeah, I mean, they're a great computer. Those new computers are a great computer. They really are. Mark said the 35 1.8 is his favourite. Budget gimbals. Well, I like... I have that many gimbals. Look, I love the Firetech. I think they're always really good. Moser makes some fantastic ones as well. They're two that I can recommend. But look, I think all the gimbals are really, really similar now for most of the things. It just depends on really what you want and what you like and what you go for. You know, like I find all the gimbals that I've used are fairly similar in the way that they operate. Just some work a little bit easier than others. I do really like Moser and Firetech though, but they've been sort of supporting me. So, but I would tell you the truth if I didn't like them. I like both of those. But the Zhuan cranes are really good as well. I mean, they're good. I've had a couple of those. I still use one for an iPhone, actually. But for me personally, probably my favourite would be Moser. I love the Air 2. That's really good. It's so solid and just so built. I've also got the... No, I shouldn't say that, actually. My ultimate favourite one is the DJI what is it? The Ronin, the high-end one, which is I've got as well. I purchased that with my own money, though, that one. That was the Ronin... I can't remember the model one, but anyway, it's their highest one that they've got out. So that's the one that I love the most. Apart from that, though, I love Moser and I love Firetech. I've done stacks of video reviews if you want to go back and check them out. But budget ones, if you were really after budget, Firetech are really good. Any insight? Blackmagic new? No, I haven't, Keith. But I have updated today my Ninja, the Ninja V Plus and the Ninja V. I've got two of them. I've got the Ninja V Plus and also the Ninja V. I've updated those to the latest firmware. It does a couple of real cool things with these onion frames that you can stick on top. But Blackmagic, they haven't had updates for ages. I'm hanging out for updates as well. Like they just don't seem to be updating them. Perhaps NAB. Well, what's NAB? I think it's the end of April, isn't it? So NAB may be going to bring out... They might be going to bring out something new or big updates or something like that. I mean, there's still a stinger button on the ATM Mini Extreme that they haven't activated, and I'm hoping that they activate that. So who knows? I mean, they may bring out some interesting things, whether it'll be, new, another ATM Mini Extreme or something like that or whatever. I'm just hoping that we get some decent firmware upgrades soon, because that has been a long time. It's really interesting because a lot of these companies are Australian, like Rode are Australian, Ninja V are Australian, Blackmagic are Australian. It's funny that they seem to be very, very strong in those areas of video and stuff. And I never realised when I first started doing this that all those companies were Australian. It's amazing. And that's why now I always try and support those companies. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, hopefully something cool will come out fairly soon. Any more questions before I go? I'm going to go in and have dinner and chill with Kerry. The Bulldogs are playing tonight. Go the Bulldogs. We're playing Sydney. So hopefully we'll win. We've lost the first two games of the year, so I'm hoping we win tonight. I'm hoping. Now, I will be back on Saturday. I have posted a video today, guys, that was talking about this little device. Check it out, because I was sort of going through this and showing how you can charge the GoPro batteries. So I've did a review on that today as well. Wait, Blackmagic is Australian. Yep, they certainly are. Yep. They're all Australian. I never knew it until I saw the guy that was doing the talking, and I thought, he's Australian. I said, I know that accent is Australian, so I researched them, and yeah, they're all Australian. They're all from Melbourne. You've got Rode, and also, like I said, Ninja, the Ninja V Australian as well. Crikey. I love it. Crikey, I love it. All good stuff comes out of Australia. I love it, Keith. Did you fix your brake? No, I haven't yet, Roger. Look, there's no hurry because I've got 4 cameras anyway, so I will get it fixed before I have the weddings that start up again later in the year. So I'll definitely get it fixed before then. But I mean, it's not necessary at this stage. But yeah, I should put it in anyway. I will get around to doing it. I just have been a bit slack in getting it done. That was the A6400 that for some reason just stopped working. Who knows? So don't know why. It just wouldn't work. It's just completely black when I turn it on, so nothing happens at all. So it's probably a fried motherboard or something. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. I'm using PC, use vMix. I've heard vMix are good. Australia. vMix, they're not Australian, are they? Are they? Juicy? Are vMix Australian as well? Or you're saying Australia Road? I have weird issues with the A6400. Why? What's the problem? I really like it. I'm using the ZVE10 now. I really like that because I love the fold-out screen. I love that aspect of it, and also the focus is better. But the A6400, I've never had any issues at all apart from that it's just... And I've had that over 12 months, and it's just not working, so there's obviously a serious issue, but I never had any issues before that. G'day, John. How you going? Camera, unrelated, but I have ARB automotive and recovery gear on my truck. Australia makes good stuff. What, ARB automotive, is it? And recovery gear. So they're called ARB, are they? Oh. Australia made. I didn't realise that vMix is Australia made. Wow. Buttons don't work sometimes. Yeah, well, that is weird. Yeah, vMix is Australian. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I've probably never looked at it, Juicy, because like I said, I'm on a Mac, so it won't run on a Mac, so I've probably never worried about doing it, you know. Joseph said, previewing photos zooms randomly in playback. Photo zooms randomly in playback. What else have we got? That's about it. Now, I am going to pop back on Saturday, and I'm going to try and do these each week now, guys. So we'll try and do these on a Wednesday or a Thursday night because I want to, like I said, do a different time zone for everyone else. I'll be back at the usual time on Saturday, around 12 o'clock my time. And, you know, I'll be doing that too. But I'll try and probably pop on around this time each Wednesday or Thursday. I'm just not sure which day. If you have an opinion about that, just let me know if Wednesdays or Thursdays are better for you guys. Anyways, good night from New Zealand. Yep, I'm going to go and have dinner myself. vMix works so well with Windows PC, David. Well, that's fantastic. Oh, that's really good. I used to be Windows years ago. I did actually run Windows for years. When I used to, the first computer I built was it a 186? 386? I can't remember. But I went right back and built computers in those days, and I used to build them all up from scratch. I just got so sick and tired of viruses and stuff like that at those stages. And then I started lecturing in university. That was RMIT here in Melbourne, which I did for 20-odd years. So I was a lecturer, and they all were using Macs for the desktop publishing and photography and everything else, so I completely converted over to Macs. What else have we got? Thumbs up, everyone. Oh, thanks, Raymond. I'm just about to leave, Raymond. You're just popping in. I use both. I've got Windows on my Mac Mini. I do run Windows on my Mac Mini because sometimes it's easier to install things like the Sony drivers for firmware updates and stuff. They're hopeless on Mac, so I run the Mac Mini to do the updates for my Sony cameras on Windows. Joseph just switched to Mac as well. Cool. John said, have a great night and happy anniversary. Thanks so much, John. I really appreciate that, mate. Oh, Keith, you didn't have to do that. Keith gave me $4.99. Now, why doesn't that show up as... I thought it did streamers, but it doesn't. I'm going to have to look at that. Keith said, Super Chat $4.99 from Keith Bennett, just for the plug. Thanks. Just because investing in Australian photographers is wise. Make sure you subscribe to Keith too if you're into videography. Streaming. Keith has amazing channel where he talks all about streaming from a really low level up to a high level as well. So he's great to actually watch. And like I said, I subscribe to Keith and I'm always on his live chats. Topaz Sharpen AI has a great new update. Yes, I did that update the other day, actually, Greg. Looks terrific. I love the Topaz plugins. I've got all of them. Even Gigapixel. I've also got the video one as well, which works amazingly well, converting 1080p to 4K. It's terrific. The interesting thing was I shot a wedding recently and I couldn't do 4K because I can't remember why. There was a reason. I just can't remember what it was. But I shot 1080p, but then later on, I wished that I could have blown that image up. And that's one of the advantages when you shoot with 4K, that you can enlarge that image up. So what I did, I used the Topaz enlarging software, the Video AI, I think it's called, and upsampled it to 4K. And then I could go 100%, double the size. And it looked terrific. I was really pleased with how it works. Now, it does take time, though, and that's even on a powerful machine. So it's something that you probably would do overnight if you wanted to. But I was amazed at how well it worked. The Topaz stuff is really good. Juicy said, really graduated from RMIT Uni at the city as well. Yep, that's where I worked for 20-odd years, Juicy. I was there a long time. Long time. I was there twice, actually. I was there for 20-odd years. Then I left for a few years, went back to industry in photography, advertising, and then I went back to uni again. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, that might be it for me tonight. I'm going to pop off and finish. I'll see you all in the next video. Please check out that video I've just done. I mean, if you're into the GoPro, I suppose. If you're not going to want to look at it, but I've posted that. And I'll see you. I might put up a video tomorrow with this lens. I got sent this lens the other day, which is a Viltrox. And it's the 35. It's the 35 f1.8. I think it's about $490 or something like that. But I used it in a wedding. Now, I only used it because I wanted to make sure that because I hadn't used it before, I wanted to do just the formal stuff like the flowers and things like that, because what I did was I used that and I also used, we used the other camera as well, just to make sure in case if the lens was awful. So I did sort of shoot both, but I'm pleasantly surprised in how this went. Now, I'm not going to say much more about that, but stay tuned for that, and I might have that up tomorrow. I'm probably just going to go through through Capture One, and discuss all of the images that were taken and sort of go through that with you. So I might talk to you about that in the tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow, and I'll be back live on Saturday for the usual news and rumours. Not that there is many rumours, I don't think. So apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great night, and go the Bulldogs. Hopefully they'll win.